As I was saying, tonight episode, we're talking about will this woman, specifically the black woman, will she lead us to heaven or hell? It's going to be one of the two. And the reason why I'm selecting the black woman again is because I can go all across the ethnicity genre, if you will, and talk about anybody, but I choose to talk about mine first, right? Because charity starts at home, then it spreads abroad. So we are talking about the cornerstone, the originator, in my estimation, and I think based on a scientific proven fact when you study anthropology. So we're talking about that this evening because what kind of really sparked this whole conversation that we're having this evening, the last couple of weeks, I have really experienced something that I think, in light of the situation, as we've kind of heard about the young lady by the name of Carly Russell, having this manhunt, looking for her, doing her hoax, a false claim that she had been abducted. And at the end of the day, when you think about all of this, all of it is centered around attention. Now, I could have chosen probably any title to name this particular subject this evening, but I chose the word attention because what I've seen, what I view in my estimation, I've seen a lot of women who is looking for attention, and they're looking for this attention by the wrong way. They're going about it the wrong way, looking for this attention. The way you get a man to really look at you, truly look at you in the way you want to be looked at. See, any man can look at you. Any man can look at you. But the way you get a man to look at you in the way you want to be respected, the way you want to be revered, the way you want to be accepted, it's going to take more than just you crying wolf, as they say, or giving these false claims. Because these things are so important when they all line up on the spiritual path. This is so important to know, so important to know. And so I was talking about earlier, and I'm going to repeat it again because I think it's very sacred and it's very important, not just to go off of my opinion, not my opinion. See, I only like to deal with my opinion if it's outside of scripture. But if the foundation is scripturally based, my opinion don't matter. It don't matter. I can only accept it or reject it. But if I have a rebellious nature, then God wouldn't be my friend, Satan would. So I can only go off of what the Creator says. So again, I'm going to read this again. I'm going to read this again. It's a simple thing, right? But we make it hard. We make it hard. So again, we're talking about when God created one soul, one single soul. He created out of this one single soul, it's like nature, its mate. This mate had a similar nature like the first single soul. It's two souls, man and female, or male and female, two souls. And they had like nature, a similar nature, not the same nature, but a similar, meaning that you have the XY and XX chromosome. Men was created with a masculinity and women were created with femininity. So, right, that's basic biology 101. No one should be able to dispute that. No one should want to dispute that. Okay. So, I'm going to see Tim, as your mic is up. Okay. You hear what I'm saying? Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to come to you because I've talked about this a few seconds ago, but we want to get into tonight's subject. Go ahead and let's burn it up, man. Let's chop it. Let's dive deep into this thing regarding what we're seeing now, because again, in wake of this situation with the young lady Carly Russell, I thought that this was a real good opportunity to speak about the black woman being a cornerstone, being the mother of civilization. In my estimation, she is the mother of civilization, but at the same time, this new generation or new mindset, and I'm not just going to say new because I've seen some again, to my surprise, I've seen some pushback now from some young people. So I'm not going to be all inclusive and say it's every woman, because every woman don't believe that. Every woman don't think the same. It would be foolish to even think that way. But yet, the way it's kind of trending, if we don't get in front of this thing, we're going to be facing a epidemic of disproportion when it comes to our community, our culture, in our family life and our community life. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll yield the mic to you, and we'll get into some other topics on this subject.
It can be a discouraging time when you think about what is going on with not just the whole mindset. It's a mindset that's going on that's a little different. We could talk to the new generation, but it seems like it's permeating not only with the young, but also the old, because others are starting to have the same permutation to where they're starting to feel that, hey, it's almost a transactional situation. And men are starting to wake up a little bit and say, hey, is this truly what it's all about? Just transactional? And so many women are saying, hey, what's love got to do with it? And men are saying, oh, okay, so it's not about love anymore. It's more transactional. So what happened is that, and this is happening in our community more than anybody else, with all the numbers and economics that say, hey, two is better than one. And if you work together and you actually uplift each other, you can change your statuses. Not only that status, you change the status of your children. And even with the percentages talking about that 80% of children raised by a woman end up in prison, 80% of their children, higher percentage than anybody else of single raised family by a female, more children end up in prison because of that. And so we all know that men teach discipline. Now, not to say that women don't have discipline and that they can't teach it, but it's a little different than how men do it. And so when we just seeking attention, which is what the social phenomena is right now, so much attention and likes and everything that's going on, there's nothing wrong with the idea of actually sharing information. See, we don't want to say that sharing information and get more information out, but we're not talking about that part. We're not talking about the part where we're talking about social and socializing with each other and upbringing and lifting each other. We're talking about the part where we're just showing each other stuff and then wanting attention. And attention is, you're influencing people with bad thought. Some of you may even believe the things that you're saying, but you're saying them to get attention. And that's bad, because that's the same thing that the young lady did. She wanted attention. She got her attention, but the pain that she caused so many people in doing so, she don't even recognize what that did. That's a trigger for a lot of people. That's a trigger that's going on because these things are really happening. And for her to do things, to actually do that, and at that manner, it's kind of a symptom of what's going on with the generation right now. Let me say this real quick, and I'll let you move on, Jabril. Our people, we need to understand what it takes to bring ourselves together. Encouraging words, expectation. Like, I know you probably raised and I raised with expectations. So we got expectations put upon us. Everybody has expectations. And the best expectation are those done with encouraging words instead of those that actually tear you apart or denigrating words. So when you use denigrating words with your expectations, you usually make that thing crumble or you make the situation fall apart. But when you do encouraging words with your expectation, you say, hey, you can do. I know you can. I see you. You tell them the vision and you tell them that they are in the vision and you see them doing in the vision. Those words are not just for our children. Those words are for our relationships as well, as we keep uplifting each other.
Right. Well, you know what? To that point, man, I think about again, I was talking about the attention part of it, the attention part. Why are so many women seeking so much attention and want to be validated, especially when you start talking about the dress code. And we've tackled this on many occasions. And I've said in the past, and I'm saying again this evening, the attention sometimes that you attract may not be the attention that you're going to want to maintain for a long period of time if it doesn't line up to where you're trying to go in life, because you never know what you're going to attract. It's just like flies that migrates to manure or horse manure, right? You got individuals, men, who have that kind of mentality. They have this real stupefied mentality where they're not trying to really develop, nor they're trying to cultivate the mindset of women. And so they fall to a base urge type level. And herein lies the problem. And again, we as men are partly to blame because we wind up accepting a lot of things that we should not be accepting from women. And when we see women just doing what they want to do and saying what they want to say, and all this rhetoric that they love to put out there, we kind of start how can I say kind of like going into the cave of our own mind because we don't want to challenge them on the merit. Not all men, because some men are definitely pushing back now, but for the great majority, this is a lot of what's happening. And so I stand with those on the right side because all this freedom, see, freedom, it's okay to have freedom, but I'd rather have freedom with some type of accountability and responsibility. Because to go out there and think you don't need any self-governance, that you can do this on your own, or you don't need nobody telling you this or telling you that, it's going to get us exactly in the state of what we're in right now, which is a state of emergency. Because you look, our numbers are higher than anybody, and I keep talking about that. I just found out something, I think just yesterday. What was it? It was talking about the lowest on the total pole in terms of it was in term of Asians, right? The Asians being more productive when it comes to business and family and so forth and so on, then more productive, well, having a higher IQ, more so than the Caucasians or white people, if you will. And then the white people have more than the Hispanics. And they said that the Hispanics have more than African American. Now you can take it for what it's worth. Individually, you may say, "Oh, that's just propaganda," and I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that analogy. It could be skewed, but at the same time, just like when they say love is not what you say, it's what you do. Show me the action. Show me out in society. Show me when it comes to us as Black people, African Americans, or whatever, however you want to say it. Show me where we are exemplifying the best of us and not the worst of us, as I pointed out 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when we was dealing with the Janelle Monáe issue. Because now women want to undress. Now women want to dance upon each other. They want to be touched by other women when they dancing. You know, they want to all in the name of what, Tim? Fun. The fun life. The fun life. With a smile on your face. But I also believe that there's a day when it's going to be, it won't be no smiles. It won't be no smile. It'll be like when the planes went in the buildings in New York City in 2001 and it shocked domestically, like homeland. Mm-hmm. When it hit home, there was a lot of people that was really, really surprised about what was taking place. They thought it was the end of the world. They didn't know what was happening, what was going on. And so death becomes a very, very sobering fact. It sobers you up. It sobers you up real quick, because I always use the analogy: get on an airplane and let the airplane start nosediving at a speed of 1,000 miles per hour. It'll sober you up real quick. And so, you know, I'm looking out in society now, Tim, and the behavior of what's been exemplified, all because of attention, because we want attention. And that's the very reason why an individual like Carly Russell was able to manipulate individuals, because I really, you know, I kind of caught wind of it late. In fact, somebody had text me saying that it was a hoax. You know, I didn't really follow it that close, but after I found out that it was a hoax, I began to kind of do a little bit more research about it, right? And it just makes you scratch your head to say, what are we really doing? All because of some attention. So I'm gonna play a video. Let me see if I can bring this video up. Hold on just a second. I want to play this video because this is the kind of foolishness that we're having to see, we're having to deal with.
People had heartfelt feelings for her while that was going on, for her parents, who was actually really in pain during those moments.
Yeah, and they was even saying that even saying that there was some talk of I don't know. I don't know if they was trying to cover. I don't know what the situation was in regards to that. Um, but we know the backdrop and what they were saying was all because she was trying to get her boyfriend's attention because they had broken up. You know, but again, she went about it the wrong way, and so time and time again, we're seeing these decision makers, man, and a lot of these women is just not it's not conducive to, I think, the overall uh trajectory of where we should be going in our culture and as a people. Because again, you have to be able to understand, man, this thing is about perfecting steps. Any wrong turn in life, it can cost you your life. You know, you're doing certain things. Like I want to get to this video and share because this young lady here, and she says it. She says it. She says exactly why her reason for doing what it is that she did. And so again, this is one of, like, video like this is why I'm doing the show, or we're doing the show this evening, to talk about this behavior, this ongoing behavior that has relegated us to a people of cretinism. Yeah, a people of cretinism. That's what it's basically coming to. We have retarded our thinking to almost accept anything. And that's why we have to have some pushback. We have to have some pushback, and we have to all start. Tim, go ahead. You speak on what you're speaking. I'm just trying to pull this up right quick because I want to make sure that
Everybody wants to be a celebrity, but they don't know what it takes. They don't know. They don't know. They can't handle the attention. So, so many people, want that attention that celebrities got, right? And so they want to be an influencer. So many people, hey, love to want to be in front of the camera and all that good stuff. Ain't nothing wrong with that from that standpoint. But when we start talking about false truths, we start talking about giving information out and deceiving people. Being like my mother said, don't take any wood nickels. My mother tell me all the time before I was take off out of the house. Hey, make sure you don't take any wood nickels, right? And of course, that's around that story too. But so with that, we have a lot of people who's out giving, and and there's a consequence to that, and that consequence is not good. And so one of the things we have to do is hold those people accountable, and that's one of the things that we're doing right now. We hold them accountable right now. Go ahead. Is it ready?
No. Go ahead. You can finish.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
you're
So
talking about you holding them accountable. Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So accountable. We gotta make sure they know. We got to make sure that we don't agree with that as a community, as a Black community. We say, hey, hell no to what she was doing, and that we ain't gonna stand for that, and that does not represent us. That's not what we're gonna be about. And anybody else out there doing something like that, hey, there's a consequence to that, and it's not gonna be nice. And so yeah, now she's looking for sympathy. Everybody's saying, hey, she needs some help, but hey, she's luckily they hadn't really pressed charges with that, because even I would say the whole community, including the government, forces and stuff like that, police and everybody else, started a big search out for her, and tried to go out and find that young lady. And so everybody had their heart poured out, and then she's doing this. That's
Right.
a question. That's a question. She don't know what she did to hurt other people like that. That's a lot of
Right.
people that felt that. There's some people out there. It was one lady who actually had that happen. And so she was out making sure, because she wanted to make sure it wasn't, didn't happen, the same thing that happened again. And so you don't do that to people. Just don't do it.
Right. You said that she's lucky that they hadn't brought charges, and I don't know if it's still an going investigation, because one thing about it, when you start talking about manhunts and they spending hours upon hours looking for the individual, there's a dishonor that has to be honored, because you're talking about pay and people energy, time, and so forth and so on, having to look for you, because actually there was because again I'm dealing with us, right? Because there was another white lady by the name of Sherry Papini, who did 18 months in federal prison. I think it was back in last year, 2022, September 2022. Did 18 months for a false claim of being abducted. and I think she has stayed gone for like a little over 3 weeks. So it's still, I think, is ongoing, and there's a possibility if they can just narrow it down, because right now I think they're still doing their investigation. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen out of it, but there needs to be some lesson in a situation like this. Need to be a lesson that's being put out there, because this is what young people are thinking. They just take life for a little bit of nothing for what it's no big deal. And it is a big deal. It's a great deal. It's a great deal, because again, this goes back to what I was talking about with the attention, about getting attention. You may not agree with hold on just a second, Tim. You may not agree, and that's okay. With a whole lot of what's being said this evening, but we're gonna challenge you this evening to rebut what we're saying in this regards. Tell us something that's greater than what God says. As I started off with scripture, I said that God created us from a single soul, and out of this one soul, he created his mate of like nature, not the same nature, but like nature, right? Mm-hmm. So we are supposed to come together in the abstract, as I said once before, first and foremost. But everything now has been made so concrete, or in the mundane, to where we just look at the fleshly aspect of it. And this is the number one thing that I'm seeing today that's being pushed in front of everything. We can't get past certain things because this is the number one thing that people got us on, is this fleshly part. And then there's no governance. When you add that to it, that's a recipe for disaster. That is a recipe for disaster, because now you have this reprobated mind, as I'm saying. So again, I'm asking the question this evening: is the black woman, because she can either be the key to go to heaven or she can be the key to go to hell. It just depends on how far we allow her to continue to drive the car, if you will. It depends on how long do we accept the behavior that we're looking at. It depends on how long we reject the responsibility of being the man that God created for us to be. See, it has a lot of it depends on a lot of things. And so this is very important. So I see this time and time and time again, man. And again, as we continue to move forward in life, I'm not gonna even say 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I'm talking about 5 months, if not 5 weeks. There needs to be, I think, we should be galvanizing. There should be some type of march, some type of kind of like back in the 60s almost, because they was fighting for civil rights and voting rights. There should be something that's brought together, just men, because I'm actually thinking about just having a men's only meeting, real talk, because this foolishness that we're seeing, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And me, for one, and I know a lot of guys, because I talk to a lot of guys. It's just not all of them are not doing podcasting. But we see this. We see this time and time again, and we're sick and tired of it. We're sick and tired of it. But go ahead, Tim.
Well, that's what I was talking about from the start, about or looking at what's going on and saying, okay, why should I even engage?
You starting to scare me.
No, go ahead, Tim.
Okay. Why should I even engage in the idea of being married? Why should I couple up? And so there's a lot of men that are saying, okay, what, if it's all transactional, if it's all, she's seeking attention, and then she'll leave because they're doing 80% of divorces are, women choose, they make their choice. And so if that's going to be the case, if I'm getting in here to get divorced and I'm paying bills, I'm losing money. So economically, it's not in my best interest. So why am I getting married if And then there's videos out right now where women are just straight out blatantly not telling the truth. So they're lying on themselves and cheating on the men and say because they can do it better because they have collaboration. The man who they're cheating with collaborates better than a woman does. Woman usually doesn't collaborate with a man as well as a woman does with a man does with a woman. So a man who's getting who's with a woman who's cheating, he doesn't say anything. But that woman may, if a man's cheating, that woman may say something. So the collaboration is totally different. And the other thing that's a little bit different and going in is that we're talking about a lot of people just, because they can do it better. And of course, then one of the things they do is obviously bait and switch. They're like, hey, something's going on as you see for men. And all of a sudden, a woman is actually talking to men and said the man is the one who's doing it. And so men always do with that statement. So if women keep leading and they're leading that way, oh, we definitely headed for destruction if they continue to lead that way. And so if it's just seeking attention, if it's just, hey, I'm happy, because to be married is to be we. It's not just to be me, it's to be we. And these women are speaking of in terms of me. Okay, you pay, boom, I keep my money's mine. And even men are buying into that too. I don't agree with none of that. When I say 100, I mean 100 everything. Ain't no 50-50, ain't no 70-30, it's 100. Either we join as one or we don't need to be together because actually it's transactional. I can do transactional with anybody any day, all day long. And so why should I worry about what the legs are doing when that can be easy, for not all men, but for a lot of men it can be easy. And if you got enough money, it's easy for you too. So that can be easy. So transaction, you want somebody who you actually growing with together. And the way we seeing things right now, everything we seeing on social media, what people are actually doing. We're not even talking about the fake stuff. So we're talking about people actually doing things for real in real situations, like the thing you about to bring up on this video.
Right, exactly. And I want to segue right into that's a good point to segue into, because this video, and you'll hear her speak about why she did or was doing or was about to do, what was goading her or encouraging her to do what it is that she was doing. So check this out.
You she out there, you need to be scared. I ain't stalling. You the feds? Far from it.
God damn.
Like, man, that's
you're not.
Come on, you know what?
Let me check, see if you the feds.
What you doing? Do what you do, ain't none of that. Check, man. Man, you know what? Let me try my time, man, because
please find something.
Let me get this out the way.
I
don't need no shot.
You need something. Act like you motherfucking
I don't need none of that.
Act like you been here before.
I'm far from that.
God damn. Who the f is at the door?
Hold on, wait, chill out. I'm about to partner.
Your partner? This ain't, we not doing no motherfucking train. You ain't think all that.
Well, Maisha. So that's what we're doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? That's what we're doing? You really about to why are you can't go nowhere?
Why are you calling me?
Are you serious? You really about to
set me up?
That's cool.
You set me up?
Set you up. You about to my partner.
Hey, I was not going to
you lying. I just gave you $60.
I was not going to
I just gave her $60.
I'm not no motherfucker. I just needed some attention.
So this is what you be doing every night when you talk about you.
You come home every night, you don't talk to me, you go straight to the room.
You
go to the room,
so you gonna go
I wasn't gonna him. I just needed some attention.
Oh, so you gonna get in the hotel room to get some attention?
Yeah.
How long you been doing this for?
What? I don't know.
Man, how many but be real, man. Just let her go, man. All day. But why the would you do that shit?
I wasn't gonna.
Man, we got a daughter, like, what kind of example you set for your daughter?
A little bit of money.
What if our daughter was doing this shit? You think that shit cool?
Hey.
Why would you do some shit like that?
Don't bring her up right now.
Don't bring her up. This reality, you gotta think about that. This is about you.
Hey.
What's wrong with you? Why would you do that shit?
You know.
What do I know? I know you was about to my gun, man.
You know. I just needed a little bit.
Man, you about to f my butt.
I was not going to f him.
Man, stop lying to that
Shut
man.
the fuck up.
Listen, man, I just gave him $60, man.
Him.
Wow. Wow. And you can hear in the video that she was looking for or seeking attention. Then she tells her boyfriend, whom she got a baby by, remind you, that she wasn't going to have sex with him. She wasn't going to have sex with him. But yet and still, she's been doing this for a minute. You see what I'm saying? And she said out of her mouth, I was just seeking attention. I was just seeking attention. And herein lies a lot of what we're seeing in society. A lot of women are doing certain things, having a reprobated mind, a cretinous thinking, a retardation in the intellect, doing a lot of things because they're why? Seeking attention. But yet you try to switch it up and call it the fun life. I just want to have fun. See, they ain't gonna like conversations like this because they don't like to be called out on it. And it's not a question of trying to broad brush because we're not broad brushing. We're talking about we have little young girls that are watching this, who is the next generation that's supposed to be the glue to our society that's going to hold our community together or hold our family life together. But how can they when they have nothing to look at? They have no examples. See, the problem with a lot of women today, they don't understand the difference between a talent and a skill set because the two is not really one of the same. You can have a talent. You can have a talent. Your talent is to put on makeup every day. But is that a necessary skill? Is that a necessary requirement to be in a relationship that makes your relationship works? It's not. It's not. That's why I say you have to understand and understand the difference between the two. A talent and a skill is not the same. It's not one of the same. You can have a skill set, right? That a skill set, basically, you develop something. Because I like the commercial with Michael Jordan when he talks about, perhaps I made you believe because I hit the game-winning shot. So he goes on and on about a lot of things that you may take for granted. But he was talking about the skill in order to hit that shot. How many times did I practice on that shot? Time and time and time again. See, one of the things that we fail to realize, both men and women, is that we have to fall in love with the process. And then we have to fall in love with the progress. Because to sit here and say that, oh, I got a talent because I can put on something that's kind of provocative and go out there and show my ornaments or what God has blessed me with, right? Which God, by the way, in scripture says, do not reveal your ornaments. Protect your precious ornaments. But you wanted to put them on display for everybody to see outside of your household. So that's your talent, right? But if that's your talent, then please tell me, what is your skill set? What is your skill set? What is going to cement a relationship or a family and hold that together? If that's your desire, if that's what you're hoping for. Because right now, what I'm basically seeing is a bunch of talent, but no skills. No skills. Again, you got people, man, that go on these little private or secret rendezvous with their girlfriends or take their girlfriend trips, and they go out there, man, and they just turn up. They just turn up. They pull up their dress. They let the panties show. They just turn up. You know what I'm saying? Without having any type of governance to be able to say, you know what? This could go viral. And if it went viral, I don't want to be seen with that. You understand? That's like sitting inside of a garage. Because if you're amongst those kind of people with that kind of mindset, then you're real close to the fire. You're real close to the fire. And it will be like a woman or a person sitting inside of a garage pretending that they're a car. No, that don't work that way. You're not a car. You're a human being. So why would you want to be amongst certain people? And I don't want to use the garden tool word. That's